Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Tuesday, March the 21st. We have another 6-game slate tonight, so decent sized slate, good amount of props to choose from. At the time I'm recording this video, around 11:30 Eastern time, I got 2 fantasy score props I'm liking for today. We do have most of the fantasy scores posted for today. You guys know these are normally the props I like to target the most. It's just the stat type that I feel the most comfortable betting on. So we got 2 fantasy score props to talk about today, guys. Before we do talk through these 2 plays, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and if you guys are new to the channel and if you've never checked out Prizepicks before, you can actually sign up for Prizepicks. You can use my promo code NOAH. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. So check them out, use that code, get your deposit bonus when you do sign up. And as always, if you want to tail the picks I give out in this video, you can do so. You can find some props that you like for yourself, make some entries yourself. It is Tuesday, so it is Taco Tuesday. Prizepicks is actually giving us 5 tacos today, 5 discounted projections. They already had one go up last night for, I think it was for League of Legends, and I think it hit. It cashed, and then they have another taco available right now for the World Baseball Classic, the USA-Japan game tonight. They have Shohei Ohtani's total bases at 0.5. So basically, Ohtani has to get a single, double, triple, home run, and he'll cash that. He'll cash that total bases prop. So that's available until 12:30 Eastern time, and then there will be another taco, and I think there will be 2 more after that. So there'll be 3 more tacos today, 3 more discounted projections. So you got to take advantage of those. When Prizepicks offers them, they do this every Tuesday for Taco Tuesday, and their tacos have been really good lately. A lot of them have been cashing. So take advantage of that, guys. Make sure, again, when you sign up for Prizepicks, use that promo code NOAH. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. Now, before we talk through our 2 plays for today, do want to recap our 2 plays from yesterday that we gave out in yesterday's video. And finally, man, we got a cash yesterday. We hit both of our 2 plays, so I hope you guys did tail yesterday and made a little bit of money. We took the over on Klay Thompson's points as one of our 2 plays yesterday. And Klay Thompson, we needed 23 points from him. He finished with 29, had a pretty good game overall. It was a sweat down there in the 4th quarter. I think heading into the 4th quarter, he needed like 4 points, but he ultimately got there. And then we took the over on Nikola Vucevic's fantasy score. Had some people kind of doubting that prop in the comment section, but I really like that spot for Vuce. I thought his projection was definitely too low, despite the matchup with Joel Embiid. And given Vuce's recent, or past success against Joel Embiid, I wasn't too worried about the matchup. And Vuce had a pretty good game. I know the game went to double overtime, but I think Vuce had over, he went over his fantasy score almost in the 3rd quarter. I think he had a really, really good game. He had like 3 steals right out of the gate. So when he had like 3 steals 5 minutes into the game, I knew it was going to be a good night for us, because whenever you get those steals and blocks when you take a guy's fantasy score, it's always huge, because those really add up quickly. And Vuce had like 3 steals right out of the gate, so that was obviously nice. Cashed that play, cashed the Klay Thompson play. Hit 3 out of our 4 plays on Patreon last night too. Unfortunately, we took Talen Horton-Tucker's over fantasy score. He got in major foul trouble, had 3 fouls in the first half, only played like 20 minutes. That was the only play that we missed yesterday. We hit 5 out of our 6 plays yesterday, but Talen Horton-Tucker, man, getting in foul trouble really cost us. But hopefully, we can bounce back today, or not necessarily bounce back, but hopefully we can keep the good, good mojo rolling. We've been doing really well lately. Cashed our 2 plays yesterday, so let's try and do it again for this slate. Again, we got 2 fantasy score props for today, and the first guy that I want to talk about, the fantasy score prop I do like first, is going to be Bradley Beal's fantasy score. It sits at 41.5 on Prizepicks. This is an over that I do like for today. Like the matchup against Orlando. Also, no Kyle Kuzma today for the Wizards, which I think is really important here, because if you look at the on-off splits this season, when you take Kyle Kuzma off the floor, also you could take like Rui Hachimura off the floor, who's no longer on the team. You could take Will Barton off the floor too, who's no longer on the team. But I did take Kuzma and Rui off the floor. Rui's got a pretty high usage rate when he was on the Wizards, so getting him off the floor, it'll allow for guys like Beal to soak up more usage. And this season, Bradley Beal has played 518 minutes without Kyle Kuzma, without Rui Hachimura, 34% usage rate in those minutes, 1.32 fantasy points per minute. So he's been very productive on a point per minute basis. His usage is great. And you really look at this Wizards team, I mean, besides Beal and Porzingis, when you take Kuzma off the floor, there's just really no one else on this team that's going to dominate usage. I mean, the next highest guy in terms of usage rate is Johnny Davis with a 19.4% usage rate, and he's just kind of been like in and out of the rotation. I mean, they just don't have a lot of guys that are going to go out there and take 20-plus shots. But that's what Bradley Beal should do here, and that's what most likely Porzingis is going to do here as well. So I expect the usage to be really condensed around Bradley Beal and around Kristaps Porzingis. I like this matchup specifically for Beal. We've seen Orlando be a pretty good matchup for guards this season. They don't really have any good guard defenders. Markelle Fultz, he can get a lot of steals, but he's not like the best defender overall. Cole Anthony, not really the best defender. Gary Harris, not the best defender at this point in his career. So I think it's a really good matchup for Bradley Beal. The minutes are going to be through the roof as long as this game is competitive. The game right now, I think, has like a 1-point spread. So even though they're facing the Magic, this should be a competitive game. I mean, right now, the entire Wizards offense is going to run through Beal and Porzingis. So by some chance, even if the Wizards do blow out the Magic, it's going to be because Beal and Porzingis, one of the two or both of them, are having really, really big games. But you look at Beal's minutes lately in competitive games. I mean, the dude's playing like 38 minutes. Now, the last 2 games have both been blowouts. He's actually been involved in a lot of blowouts lately. They lost to Sacramento by 14. They lost to Cleveland by 23. They beat Detroit by 20. They lost to Philly by 19. But their last competitive game against Atlanta was a 7-point game, and Beal played 37 minutes in that game. They played Atlanta before that. It was a 2-point game. He played 37 minutes in that game. He played 38 minutes the game before that against Detroit. So I think as long as this game is competitive, we're getting 36, 38 minutes from Bradley Beal. His usage without Kuzma this season has been great. His points per minute have been great. And you can take a look at the games he's played without Kuzma this season. He's played 6 games total. There was a game recently without Kuzma. It was this game against Detroit. Beal had a great game then, 59.7 fantasy points in only 33 minutes. But he's played 6 games without Kuzma this season, and he's over this fantasy score line in all 6 games. He had 59.7 fantasy points against Detroit. He had 47.8 against Milwaukee, 46.8 against Indiana, 46 against Boston, 45.8 against Charlotte, and 41.6 against Golden State. And you look at his shot attempts in those games, 15, 32, 18, 19, 15, 23. He's going to take 15, 20 shots most likely. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton, so his assist numbers should be pretty good as well. The scoring should be there. The opportunity should be there. The usage should be great. The matchup, I think, is pretty good against Orlando. This should be a competitive game. So give me the over on Bradley Beal's fantasy score for today. That will be our first play for today. And then the other pick that I like to pair with that is going to be Marvin Bagley's fantasy score of 28.5. Now, if you look at the last 5 games, you're not going to like this pick if you look at the last 5 games because he's gone under in 5 straight. But what we need to take into account today is that, for one, the Pistons are really shorthanded right now. No Bojan Bogdanovic, no Alec Burks, no Isaiah Stewart, no Cade Cunningham, no, who else am I missing? No Jalen Duren. I mean, they got a lot of guys out right now. Let's see, who else is still out? No Hamidou Diallo. And then right now, RJ Hampton and Isaiah Livers are both questionable. We did see Marvin Bagley return from injury last game. He was out with an ankle injury. He returned from injury last game. They said before the game that Bagley was going to have his minutes monitored, which, you would think if a guy's going to have his minutes monitored, he's probably going to come off the bench, maybe play like 20 minutes or something. He started last game and played 30 minutes, even though his minutes were quote-unquote monitored. So the fact that he started last game and played 30 minutes right out of the gate, right in his return from injury, that makes me assume that we're going to get pretty much full minutes from Bagley today. And it is worth noting that Jalen Duren did play last game. Now, Duren only played like 8 minutes before he got injured. But you take those 8 minutes, you're taking those 8 minutes and you're kind of spreading them out. And you can probably assume that Bagley's getting even more of those minutes. Now, the only thing that worries me a little bit here is that Isaiah Livers has been out the last few games. Isaiah Livers is questionable for today. Livers had been starting before he got injured. So I'm not exactly sure if Livers comes back today, is he going to start over Bagley? I guess it's possible, but I think the most likely scenario is that if Livers comes back, he's probably going to start in place of Rodney McGruder. So the starting lineup should be, Hayes, Ivy, McGruder, Bagley, Stewart, or McGruder, Bagley, and then Wiseman if Livers is out. Now, if Livers comes back, then I think you could see, Hayes, Ivy, Livers, Bagley, and then Wiseman. I guess they could go with like McGruder and Livers as like the small forward, power forward, and then just start Wiseman at center and then bring Bagley off the bench. If Bagley comes off the bench, I mean, I'm not going to like this play as much, but I'm just going to go ahead and lock it in now. I think he's going to start, given that he started last game, given that he played 30 minutes last game, or 29 minutes. I feel pretty good about him getting pretty good minutes once again here. Now, the matchup against Atlanta is really, really good. The only thing that is concerning here is that right now this game does have a 13.5-point spread. So this game does have a lot of blowout risk. But we saw before Bagley got injured, when he was starting, he was playing in blowouts. And like there was a game against Cleveland, I'm pretty sure. I remember it because I played him in DFS that night. There was a game against Cleveland that Bagley started. The game was like a massive blowout, and Bagley still played, like even in the blowout, he played like 34 minutes. And so far this season, he's played at least 30 minutes in 4 games. He's over this fantasy score line in 3 out of those 4 games. He did play 34 minutes in that game against Cleveland on March the 4th, had 48.6 fantasy points. He played 34 minutes against Dallas, had 39.6 fantasy points, 31 minutes against Phoenix, 33.9 fantasy points, and then he did play 36 minutes against Portland, only had 24.1 fantasy points. But this is a really good matchup against Atlanta. Atlanta is giving up the most fantasy points per game to power forwards this season. Bagley historically has been a pretty productive player when he does get minutes. So far this season with the Pistons, he's been averaging about a fantasy point per minute. He played 30 minutes last game, and that was with Jalen Duren playing. Now with Jalen Duren out, I think we can expect a little bit more than 30 minutes from Bagley here. And again, he's over this fantasy score line in 3 out of 4 games this season where he's played over 30 minutes. It's a great matchup. Atlanta's been playing fast this season. Their defense has been terrible. It's been a great matchup for power forwards going up against Atlanta, and pretty much Bagley and Wiseman are going to get all the center minutes here. So they're basically going to stagger Wiseman and Bagley so that one of those guys is on the floor at all times. So even if they start alongside each other, you'll probably see like Bagley sub out early, and then when Wiseman has to check out, they'll bring Bagley back in. So the minutes should definitely be there for Bagley here. He should be productive when he's on the floor. The matchup's great. If the game does blow out, I think Bagley could still play in the blowout. He did play in a lot of their blowouts recently when he was healthy. He was playing in blowouts. So give me the over on 28.5 fantasy score for Marvin Bagley today as our second pick. And this is what I like as an early 2-pick entry for today, guys. Recording this video again around 11:30 Eastern time. So we do have a good amount of props on the board right now. Usually in these videos, I just like to give out a few plays, like 2 or 3 plays. But I will be sharing more plays for today over on Patreon as always. Been doing pretty well with our Patreon plays lately. We hit 5 out of 6 plays yesterday. We hit 5 out of 6 plays on Sunday. So been on a nice little roll. Hopefully we can keep that going into Tuesday's slate. And if you guys were tailing me today, I do wish you the best luck. Hopefully we can cash this 2-pick entry again, make a little bit of money tonight. But good luck on this slate, guys. As always, appreciate you watching these videos. Make sure before you do get out of here, you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, go check out Prizepicks. Sign up for Prizepicks. Make sure to use my promo code NOAH. When you sign up, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And as we talked about, it is Taco Tuesday today, so take advantage of some of the tacos that Prizepicks is giving us today. They already have one up for the World Baseball Classic. If you want to take this while it's available and pair it with the 2 picks that I gave out in this video, you can do so. Or you can just run the 2 NBA picks if you don't want to do the Baseball Classic taco. But there will be 3 more tacos up after this one, and there should be at least like 2 NBA tacos and then probably like an NHL one. But yeah, guys, sign up for Prizepicks. Use that code NOAH when you sign up. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching the videos, supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.